Good morning, everyone. Hello and welcome. Well, it's morning here. I think it's like noon for a lot of people. It's 9:05 a.m. here in Northern California. So hello, welcome. Well, hello, Dragon Dancer. Hey, how's it going? Oh my gosh. Yes. Um, I hope everyone is doing happy Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Oh my goodness. Can you believe it's Friday? The day of Venus, the day of love and beauty and riches and excitement and ecstasy and all the good things, right? All the fun things. Um, Yay. It's nice out here too. I mean, it is. Uh Yay. I'm about to stab my oh my gosh. So y'all don't realize. I know people say put thimbles on, but like I have to go looking for thimbles because I don't know if I feel like they're all the same size and they don't fit. Like they don't fit on these fingers. And so I'm like, I can't just like use the one that comes with like the little sewing kit because they don't fit. I mean, maybe on my pinky finger, but like that's not gonna work. That's not gonna so the other day, you want to know something gross? I'm gonna tell you anyways. I was crochet or sewing a poppet together, and it's a big head that I'm sewing, and I'm like trying to and the sewing needles for whatever reason I don't know why they're always so short. I need to find longer ones, but I pushed it through to the other side and I accidentally and I'm like, "Oh, I can do this." It's I thought it was going to end up in a different position than it did. And it went like it didn't go through my thumb, but it like went into my thumb and I felt it. It was the weirdest feeling. It was so gross. It was so gross. Like just it went into my thumb, the center of my thumb, and the feeling was so disgusting. Um and it didn't hurt until I looked at it and I realized what happened, you know? Like I felt it, it didn't really hurt, and then like I was like, "Oh, this is what just happened. Oh my god." And I took it out and I was like, "Okay." It was just a weird sensation, and then I'm like, "Oh, it kind of stings." But yeah, it was weird because it didn't hurt until like I saw what happened and I knew like, "Oh, this is supposed to hurt." Does that make sense? It was so weird. Oh, a leather quilting thimble, okay. Yeah, it's just so weird. So, I do what I do. I do what I want. Today we have the 3 of Swords. What this is one of my favorite cards, and I don't know why. It's a simple depiction, but I love how it looks, right? I don't know why. I kind of reminds me of like old school tattoo. Uh, but I enjoy it. So the 3 of swords reversed pops up for our conversation today. So always feel free to share your thoughts, always feel free to pick up on stuff and whatever you think you want to share or go ahead. This is this is our time together. And so we get to talk about whatever we want and we get to say what we want. Um, and so with a three, threes are interesting because threes are about kind of like expansion. Yeah. They're about expansion because you have the two, it's like, oh, I'm not alone. And then you're like, oh, I'm not alone. And we get along and we're consenting. So let's make a third. And so, it's expansion. It's like, ooh, we're not alone. So together, the one becomes two, and then the two's like, oh, let's expand. We have three. So it's very interesting. And so the harmony of expansion is associated with three. So it's like the growth that results from the union of two, the creativity and abundance that flourish from collaboration and shared vision is associated with three. And the power of three will set you free. Creation, expansion, and challenge. And so I feel I feel a lot of people get overwhelmed by this card, because it's scary. Ooh, there's three swords and a heart. But it's reversed. And so to me, there's so many different situations that can happen with the three of swords reversed. Like, okay, so if it's reversed, those swords can like pop out, right? They just fall to the ground because we're in the air, y'all. Look, we're in the clouds. It looks like it's either like swift movement, which makes sense, or like rainy time. Because it could be, who knows? So it's like we're in the air, and so these swords about to fall down. Or we can think about, oh, this heart is actually going to be like falling into the swords again. Like it's recognizable, right? And so I think with the three of swords reverse, it's this sort of like I it's a clarity. It's I am so sorry that I stutter, but that's just how I talk and that's how my brain processes, and sometimes it annoys me. But that's how I communicate. So it happens. Anyways, it kind of reminds me, like, when you're in a situation and you're being hurt on some level, you're in experience and you're being hurt, it's not that great for you, but you don't realize it until eventually you feel the sting, you feel that pain, you feel that hurt. It's like, oh, and it's probably like, 3 years in and you're like, "Oh, sugar. Like, I need to get out of this." It's like, "Oh, wow. It has set in." And I feel, and I do not make light of this, but I feel a lot of people who experience, domestic violence, domestic abuse can kind of comprehend that. It's like, oh, and people who have been manipulated and made to feel lesser than and controlled, and just, it's like you're in it, and on some level you recognize it's not the best for you, but then you have anxiety and stress on how to leave, how to release, how to get out. There's so many different things that factor in, but the three of swords reverse is like, oh, I am now in the actual realization of it. I'm in this space where I can see the mirror and I cannot lie to myself. Like, I actually have this sort of like full on comprehension of my pain, of my hurt, of my situation. Does that make sense? And so with that realization, we recognize, oh, I now have a choice here. I have a choice, and I'm not going to tell anyone it's easy. And sometimes it's not even viable to do, like to leave, right? It's so important for us to be aware of that. Like, we can't just judge other people's situations. It's not okay. Um so we recognize, oh, this hurts. I feel it. This is not right for me. And so now I need to find a way to heal. I need to find a way to move on. So I feel, again, today I need to get to my talking points, all, because I'm gonna ramble forever. But the three of swords reverse is like this awareness that, you know what, we are a part of a situation that hurts, right? It brings heart hurt, it brings like mental pain, um but it is also subsiding, because now that we are aware of something, we can actually consciously navigate it and work through it, and move on to a better space for ourselves. So now it's about, again, lately we've been talking about coming up with a plan, being organized in that. And so the three of swords, when reversed, shifts from its usual portrayal of piercing heartache to a message of healing, because we have that awareness now of healing and recovery. So, like, you know what? I've been through it. I'm going through it. But I am going through it. Like, now that I can acknowledge that I have a problem, or I'm in a problematic situation, I can start to do something about this, right? So healing and recovery. So, in its upright position, it can often represent like emotional pain or betrayal. And I do find like friendship betrayal a lot here. But like reverse, it suggests that it can denote that we're moving past these challenges. So it's like, okay, I've been hurt, and I'm processing that. Excuse me. Let me get a sip. Let me get a little sip, y'all. All right, sorry about that. But like I'm aware now. I'm better mentally to process. And so I can take the lessons from this pain, this heartache, and I can make progress like unpacking it and moving forward for myself and my life. Instead of choosing to hold on to things, I'm now in a position better served to unpack, to navigate, to move forward, right? And so, as a card of the air element, the Three of Swords reverse encourages us to use our intellect, our mind, our thoughts, our programming, and communication to aid in our healing process. Some people say process, and I just love it. I'm like, I want to say process. I just love how, process. I don't know. Sorry. Every time process pops up, I'm like, that just sounds so boring. Let's do process because it's just cute. I love it. Feels good. Um, it asks us to think about our pain, speak about our struggles, and thus begin to heal through understanding and expression. And so when the Three of Swords pops up, it's like, you know what? I don't have to keep this to myself. Again, threes are about expansion. So again, I don't this is no judgment. Maybe we need to if again, if we have the resources, if we can afford, if we have an ability to see a therapist, maybe that's a route for us to take. Maybe it's a support group. Maybe I have some sort of addiction. Again, no judgment, okay? Don't feel any type of way about going through a struggle. This is your life, your story. You get to navigate it, and you can. And so maybe we have to go to a support group, or maybe it's like getting together with friends and having that sort of therapeutic energy. But it's like I don't have to process this alone in order for me to heal. I need to kind of work it out mentally, express it like verbally, vocally, be expressive, and talk about it. And as I talk about what I'm going through, it also helps it connect in my mind that, oh, this is not a healthy situation for me, right? And then it helps to solidify the fact that I am choosing to navigate this experience differently and walk towards something different that feels better and out of a toxic situation. And so, like that air element helps us to like sort of like mentally come to terms with what is necessary for us moving forward, right? Does that make sense? Um, Let me another sip. Mhm. All right. And so this card's reversal indicates that the worst may be behind us. It's a call to release past hurts and to focus on the future. And I think, and so, okay. So it is a call to release past hurts and focus on the future. Um, and I feel how we do that is by actually paying attention to the immediate environment, paying attention to the present, how we show up in our present moment, how we engage in mental stimulation for ourselves, how we communicate with other people, and learning from our challenges, learning from what we've been through. And it's kind of like I get annoyed sometimes when we our automatic sort of default is to express everything we go through is a lesson learned, a lesson gained. But it's like that's not always beneficial to say when someone's going through some really tough shit. It's not beneficial to say when people are going through some hard like life lessons, like, oh, this is a lesson, and you're like, bitch, I my hoops are down, I'm ready to go for your throat. Don't tell me it's a lesson. Don't tell me it's oh yay, because it's not. It doesn't feel good, you know? And so I but eventually I feel like we all get to a place in life or in our story where we can look back and we can take something from that experience, but like when we're ready. And we can only decide when we're ready. No one else can decide for us. And so with the three of swords reversed today, those conversations come up where, like, again, ask yourself, ask ourselves, I include myself in this, like, where, when I think of heart hurt, you know, when I think of like mental strain, mental, like there's this sort of like connection between the heart and the mind. When I think of that pain, that hurt, where, what sector of life sort of like flags up, what comes up for me, what do I need to address, what am I holding on to that is keeping me in a sort of like pain mode when I can actually be thriving, I can actually be choosing to move forward and heal and be a little lighter. So what do I need to release? Oh, another thing that pops up is like, in where do I feel guilt? Where do I feel shame? Where do I feel that energy in my life? And how can I learn to let it go? Let me realize, like, you know what? I don't have to punish myself over and over and over for what was. I need to focus on facilitating a better future for myself, whatever that means. And I need to start taking action and making movement forward to get there. And so yeah, the three of swords reversed is not a fun feeling card, but it's also, I find it's a very hopeful card too in reverse, because it's like, oh, that initial sting, that initial awareness, that initial like, it's kind of like when air touches an open wound and it stings. You're like, ooh, I remember I do have that wound. And so it's kind of like, oh yeah, I'm aware of this now, and now I can deal with it. Now I can process it. Now I can move forward. Now I can choose to unpack this and disperse of it, and move forward as a better individual for myself. Okay? So, yeah. What do you think? What do you make of it? How do you feel? And so that's kind of, that's what's popping up for the three of swords reversed. I hope that you can take something from this and utilize it. And you'll know, like, on Instagram and Facebook, I'll be posting throughout the day a few like questions that to ask ourselves, or to contemplate, to reflect, and meditate on, um to associate with this card. Like, when this card pops up, this is what we think about. Yeah. And this isn't to be like a daily, this isn't necessarily like a daily divination session. It's more of like a conversation. Like, okay, when this card pops up, this is kind of what we can think about. This is what we can converse about. This is kind of the focus for the conversation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm having a giveaway. So if you just, subscribe, it's kind of like saying subscribe to my newsletter and I'll be doing a giveaway. But yeah, if you join me on Patreon, at the free tier, if you want to subscribe to a different tier, that's fine. I offer quite a bit. But yeah, if you want to subscribe to me on Patreon at the free tier, you will be entered into a giveaway. At the first week of June, I'll do the poll for who wins. And yeah, what do you win? Three oil blends plus three actual like poppets. So yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. Again, thank you so much, I do appreciate y'all, and I am about to head out. So this is Friday. I will talk to you all Monday, hopefully. And for those who are subscribed to me on Patreon, we will do our batch recording at each tier level on Sunday. So I will see some of you Sunday. Thank you again. I will talk to you all soon. Enjoy your weekend, y'all.